Non-negotiable money. Non-negotiable money. A five-part immersion, so of course, five parts, to help clean up your inner conflict, to own what you really actually want, and accelerate, accelerate, accelerate. Actually, I was going to call it accelerate the flow of money, but then I thought, you know what, more non-negotiable money, because what I'm trying to get through here is one of the things that really does make really gets in the way of you manifesting money or opportunities or love or whatever it is that you're looking to manifest. Okay, the big it's a big issue. It's a big issue. It's a big issue, and that's what we're going to be covering in this week. This week today, it's called No More War Within. No More War Within, because the most important thing, let's get straight into this here. The most important thing, the magic, I would say, that accelerates your ability to manifest whatever it is that you desire, is congruence. Congruence, congruence, congruence. Okay, congruence, this is when your heart, your mind, your body, your everything is in alignment. They all match up. They all want the same thing, all going in the same direction. Okay, not parts of you going off here, parts of you going off there. No, everything is going in the same direction. Okay, when you stop fighting yourself internally, your desires no longer have to fight their way through you in order to manifest. Okay, you become a clear channel for divine love to flow through, which then energizes the seeds in your subconscious mind, which then it's translated into something in the physical reality. Okay, so this five-part series ultimately is to help you bring your inner world into congruence. Okay, so that your outer world starts to look like you would like it to ultimately. So if you will learn the simple principles I teach you this week and actually start to apply them to your life, it will make a difference. Okay, and again, with all of these immersion series, if you're in the group, then listen and listen and listen to all the ones that have gone before Facebook takes them out. Okay, if you're in opulence, you have access to them in the abundance library, and you will have access to them forever. If you're listening to this as a recording because you got it separately, then listen to it over and over and over and over again. Today we will do an affirmation called It's All Already Mine, and we'll do that towards the end of this. But to begin with, here we're talking about congruence. And again, I say listen to this stuff, because each time you listen to it, you will hear something different. So what is congruence? What is congruence? I've already said it kind of, but ultimately your mind knows what you want. Your heart feels safe to want it, okay? Your heart has the vision. Actually, your heart to me carries the most of the vision. So yes, we're used to using our mind or using our brain, but when we talk about the mind, in some ways, it's not just the brain. The brain is just the physical reflection or physical manifestation of the mind in some ways, but we always refer to our brain as if it's the thing. But ultimately, what I'm trying to say in terms of congruence, your mind knows what you want. Your heart as well is very clear on the picture, the vision that you're creating. Your body believes that you're allowed to have it. Your feminine energy, which is your inner child, is not being suppressed. Okay, so your the desires of your inner child is not being suppressed. Okay, and your masculine as well is not in panic or separated from the divine mode, controlling everything, trying to be the yeah. There's congruence. Everything is in alignment. All of this is unified. Okay, so your mind, your heart, your body, your feminine energy, your masculine energy, all are one, and then you become this clear channel for love, for ideas, for money, for opportunities, for relationships. Everything it's easier to receive it. There's a sense of flow. There's a sense of bliss actually as well that comes because love energy is flooding through you. You feel you we will talk a little bit more, I imagine, about bliss, because particularly when you're picturing your goal and you're allowing love to flow through to energize that goal, there is a sense of, and you're connected to the divine, this sense of deep connection to the divine. Some of you would have experienced this sense of bliss because I come from a Christian background and I used to go to happy clappy Christian churches. Some of you would have experienced this sense of bliss when you're really connected to God, worshiping, singing songs, or some of you even in concert or whatever would have experienced this sense of bliss where there's a connection between everybody around you, connection with, it's almost like there's suddenly each individual all together is more than each individual on their own, if you see what I mean. So it's more than the sum of all its parts basically, and there's this sense of connected, blissful joy and glee and yeah. We're going for a sense of that. Now, you don't have to go around walking around all day feeling blissful all the time, but so that's congruence at its best. The congruence can still exist whether you're feeling "Ah," or not, okay? Where every part of you is in agreement that this is what we want and this is what we're working to create. This is what we receive right now, okay? And a lot of ambitious spiritual people are not congruent because either they're chasing the wrong desires, yeah? So they're trying to fit in, they're trying to appease other people in their lives, they're choosing acceptable goals rather than their actual true goals, or they feel unworthy or greedy for wanting what they want. So old programming that tells them don't be selfish, be grateful with what you have. Good people shouldn't want that much, okay? You should have no desires in some cases, ultimately. And there might be shame and guilt or the fear of being seen or the fear of judgment that is also causing you to not be congruent. Okay, years of people pleasing, you've created a sense of resentment inside of you because you've been self-sacrificing for God knows how long, and you're resentful about it. You're angry. You might even be full of rage about it all, and because you're this wonderful, lovely spiritual person, you're not admitting to the fact that you feel quite rageful and angry, and resentful and bitter, and maybe even jealous. And there's all of these emotions all mixed up inside of you, which you are not admitting to, and so they're just there. They're just there blocking up the works, and they're still there, but they're blocking things up. Okay, so you feel drained because you ultimately feel a bit abandoned, which, but well, you feel abandoned, but the truth of the matter is that you did abandon yourself in the process of trying to make everybody else happy because you were trying to people please, which then led to this sense of resentment and potentially rage. You may know what you don't want more than you know what you do want. Now, knowing what you don't want is a way. It's at least it's a starting place. But you also need to turn it around to what do I want though, and we will be talking about that in part two. So you might be trying to run away from disappointment and pain, which is why you don't know what you don't or what you do want because you feel that you might be disappointed. So it's easier to not know than to know. You might be there's people have this understanding, and it's true that some people have a motivation which is away from something, which is great, but away from something is not the same as towards something. Okay, so getting away from feeling scared, feeling as if you don't have enough money means that you could have just enough money, but going towards having abundance means abundance. It's not just enough, which away from means you could be away from feeling completely overwhelmed by the lack of money, but that doesn't actually mean that you have now received abundance, if you see what I mean. So away from is definitely one way of being motivated because you're trying to get away from some pain, but it's not enough always to get you. In fact, for most people, it's not enough to get you to the actual goal that you want. So knowing what you don't want is not necessarily enough. And so this is where some ambitious people, again, they struggle because they're just caught up in what don't I want? I don't want this pain anymore. So they're running away from the pain, but it's not the same as running towards purpose. They might think that it is, but it's not. Okay? You can escape a bad life and still be nowhere near the life you actually want. Understand that, okay? So these are reasons why a lot of spiritual people, in fact, are not completely congruent, and particularly the sense of worth. It's not sure that the divine even wants you to have what you want. You may have been brought up with religious programming telling you that the divine tells you what you should want, and the divine withholds things from you, and all of this and all of the other. And if you believe that, you almost feel like you're not allowed to know what you want, or that what you want, it needs to be sacrificed in favor of what the divine wants for you, and you don't know what the divine wants for you, so then you don't really know what you want. Oh, well, because you don't think actually it's anything to do with what you want. You think your desires actually do not matter. And this can be, for a lot of people who are religious, this can be what you're thinking. I know I thought that for a very long time, that I didn't really have a right to decide what I wanted. I had to wait for the divine to tell me what I wanted. And well, the truth of the matter is the divine is waiting for you to get clear and decide what you want, whereas you're waiting for the divine to tell you what you should want because you're not sure what you're allowed, and all of this confusion. If you do not take the time to properly learn some of these principles, you'll be caught in this confusion for ages. And unfortunately, some teaching really does promote this idea that you're just supposed to not know, just wait for the divine to give you signs and wonders, and then maybe you'll know. Enough of this stuff, okay? you need to know. Your mind will say, I want this. Your body needs, it cannot be then saying we're not allowed to have it. Or that your heart saying, I don't feel safe with that. Or what will people think? What will they think of me? That kind of thinking, it causes a war inside of you. There's no congruence. This definitely decelerates the arrival of any goals that you may have. Your words not matching your actual energy, which also happens, and we will be talking about this, I think, in part 3 or something, where you're saying something, but your whole body, and even for the people that you're around, they sense that there's a mismatch between what you're saying and how you're showing up. Okay, and definitely the energy, the universe, the divine, your subconscious mind, you can even tell that what you're saying is not matching up to what you're believing is possible for you, or the rage and the anger inside of you could be blocking off your ability to, ultimately, it's clarity, congruence, this complete agreement within you. And you can get to that place of complete agreement. Okay? You can. You can, you can, you can, you can. And we're going to be working on that in the next few days. You can get to a place, so in fact, you must. If you're going to accelerate, if in fact, if you're even going to manifest things that feel good, because if one part of you is going one way and another part of you is going another way, you might manifest some stuff, but it'll never be the fullness of the thing that you actually want. It will always be almost. So it's a kind of a partial manifestation, or it just take a really long time. And I know what it's like for things to take a really long time when you can't quite convince yourself. It's just like when people come into business. If you cannot convince yourself that what you want to do, you're allowed to do, or that there's space for you in the marketplace, if you can't, you might be saying, I want to make 6 figures, but inside of you, there's this feeling of, isn't the market oversaturated? I just don't know that I can do this. Am I going to lose my family if I do this? Is people going to laugh at me for thinking I can be a healer? And all those little questions that niggle away at your brain, which you try to push away, but they're taking you away from congruence. All this confusion, it's getting you away from congruence. And we're going to be looking into all of this in the coming days on how you can get past all of this noise, nonsense, and drama inside of you, so that there is oneness within, oneness with the divine. That is what will cause your manifestations to come through a heck of a lot quicker, or at all. Okay, they will come through. Whereas before, with all the confusion inside, you may not even have had and things manifesting in the way that you would like them. I mean, you're always manifesting stuff, always. The law of attraction doesn't stop working. It's always working, but then you would be creating based on all of this confusion, which will generally lead to confusion in your physical reality, because it'll be a reflection of what is going on inside of you, because there's no unity. And so there'll be no unity in your external life either. Okay, so we will, as I say, be looking at all of this in the coming days and give you little simple ideas to help you achieve congruence. Okay, to help you achieve congruence, so you're not feeling guilty when you receive something, or when you ask for something, for goodness sake. You can't be bracing yourself for disappointment when you're praying for increase or affirming increase. You can't be thinking, oh well, I'll say the affirmation, but I don't actually think it's gonna work, really. Basically. And so you're yelling the affirmation, but you don't actually really believe it. And that's also why people do not stick with doing things, because there's a part of you that thinks, I'm gonna waste all this time doing this thing, and then it's not actually going to manifest anything. So why bother? This is why people drop off the 14-day prosperity reset. As though they may not say that, they may say, oh, I forgot. If it was something that you were really committed to, you wouldn't forget. Because it's easy in this day and age. I'm going to say, I keep saying to people, put timers and alerts and things on your phone. It's impossible to not be able to keep yourself on track if you choose to. So if you don't choose to, then it's time to actually figure out what is going on under the surface, rather than continually telling yourself, oh, it's just because I forget. I start things and then I forget to carry them on. And, I'm a great starter, but not a great finisher. And all that stuff that sounds as if it's so set in stone that I can't do anything about it. No, it's because deep down inside, you're trying to avoid disappointment. You don't think you're worthy of something. There's a reason, and you need to face it. Okay, so that you can look at it and say, this is nonsense. okay, and work it out rather than just push it down, push it down, push it down, and you surface things like I'm a great a starter, but not a great finisher, and all of that stuff as if you're set in stone. You're not set in stone. You can change anything you want to, okay? But again, it's that congruence. Getting that congruence. Your everything needs to match up. Your desires, your identity, your emotions, your expectations, your nervous system, your energy, your belief. It's all saying the same stuff. It's all saying the same thing. That's when desires start to come faster. Your decisions feel clearer. Your energy becomes more magnetic. You stop confusing the universe or whatever you want to call it, because there's all of this nonsense going on inside of you. Love energy is trying to flood through you to bring to life the things that you desire, but there's so many mixed messages in there. Ultimately, things will flow easier when you are congruent. So this whole 5-day thing is about helping you to get congruent. I hope you have an understanding as to why this is absolutely critical, because your external, your physical reality is reflecting what is going on inside of you. So if there's confusion inside of you, that is exactly what you'll be getting in your external reality. Okay? As well as the fact that if you're burying emotions and trying not to see them because you're too nice to see the way you really feel, chances are there'll be illness. There will be some kind of illness in your body, because these emotions, this energy has to show up somehow. So you really don't want to, you don't want all of that mess going on inside of you and you ignore it. Congruence, that's what makes the manifestation of whatever you desire non-negotiable, and it accelerates it as well. Okay, so for today we're going to start with the affirmation, and I want you to listen to this affirmation every single day that you're doing this immersion series, and maybe even beyond. Okay, there's so many of these, if there's so many of these musical affirmations that you can use, but I will put this one on the daily ritual for us this week in the gathering. And if you're listening to this as a recording anyway, then make sure you use the recording that I put there for you to use it every day. Use it every day. Use it every day. And the affirmation is, it is all already mine. It is all already mine. It is all already mine. I'm one with the divine. It is all already mine. Basically, it's very simple, but I really want you to, those words, it's all already mine. So critical, so important. It is all already yours. Truly, truly know this. Truly know this, okay? And it is. It really is. Okay, we're just affirming what is already the truth of, it's just the truth. It's all already yours. It's all already yours. You're not trying to affirm something that is untrue and trying to make yourself believe something. You are acknowledging what is already the truth. It's all already yours. Everything that you desire is already available to you. You just haven't learned how to manifest it yet, and that's part of what you're here for, is to learn how to manifest very predictably the desires of your heart. And it is possible. It is possible. It is possible. It is possible. Okay, so for today, that's us for today. Use and listen to that affirmation over and over and over again. Let it seep into your being. Actually, listen to the words as well, and I don't know, see yourself in your garden, flowing love to your seeds. Every single desire that you have, that you write down, that you speak, is a seed that you've planted in your subconscious mind. See it, feel it, and see yourself in the garden just flowing love, like a watering can of love all around your garden. Picture that, okay? If you haven't listened to the I did do an immersion series about it all already being yours. I think it was called, it might have been called It's Already Yours, accepting what is already yours, or something. And in there, I do go into a lot of more detail around the garden and the throne room and all of that stuff. You might want to get that, and you can reach out to me to find out more about that if you would like to listen to that as well. It all partners together, because the idea of all of these immersion series, if you're in the gathering, is to continually expose you to teaching that it enables you to start very predictably creating the things that you desire, and deepening your connection to the divine, of course, in order to do so. You come into your own. That's the goal, is that you come into your own, okay? That you fully start to embrace what you are capable of, because you are one with the divine. You are powerful. You just haven't learned to, you haven't mastered the art of creating. And that's what being here is all about. It's mastering the art of being creative, of creating both internal authority plus external action. So it's like I'm a business coach as well, because yes, we have to put, if business is not for everyone, but there needs to be practical action taken as well. So don't assume at all that just because I'm talking about a lot of internal stuff that you stop doing the external things. No, we need to be congruent inside of you, so that it's even easier for you to take practical action, practical, powerful action, rather than apologetic, not sure, uncertain action, which gives off this feeling of you don't know what you're doing, and so nobody wants to trust you. You can't even trust yourself, for goodness sake. So we want to be done with that, and that's definitely what this immersion series is going to help you with. Okay, so looking forward to sharing all of this with you. Listen and listen and listen again. Enjoy. Until the next time, much amazing love. Bye.